Greetings loyal subscribers and stumblers. Today we're going to be looking at Into the Mountain Pedal Wind March by Trivium. A delightful on a 7th string. You guys will notice I have a new Chapman 7th string. It is so lovely, so check it out if you get the chance. Anyway, enough about me, let's get cracking on that solo. Just in case you guys were wondering, this song is just in standard tuning with the 7th string. So we're going B, E, A, D, G, B, E. So get yourself in tune and we'll get started. Alright guys, let's take a look at the first section. I want to sort of divide this up into 4 little groups of triplets at a time. So we're going to do 4 triplets and then move on to the next little chunk. So I'm going to start off by playing 3 relatively quick triplets on 24 of the 1st string. So it's 4 pineapples in case you're counting. 3 pineapples rather. And the last triplet goes, so I do 2 23s and a 24. And then I'm going to do 3 triplets from 23. And I'm going to do 2 21s and a 23 to end that group of 4 triplets. Okay, the next group goes, what I'm doing here is I'm playing 20 for 3 triplets. And then I play 19 twice and then a single 20 to finish off that 4th triplet. Okay, the last group goes, so I've just got 3 triplets and a single note here. I'm playing 19 with the 3 triplets and then a single 17. So from the start, hopefully that's all making sense. And then I just work down a harmonic minor run. This kind of reminds me of a little run that Yngwie Malmsteen does in Arpeggios from Hell. If you guys have looked at that one, I might do a lesson on that. But anyway, back to this. Nice and harmonic minor. It's essentially the same thing over 3 octaves with a little resolving note at the end. So the first octave that I was doing was 20, 19, 17 on the 1st string. And then 20, 19, 17, 16 on the 2nd. So it's little groups of 7. I'm going to do the same thing down the octave. I'm going to play 17, 16, 14 on the 3rd. 17, 16, 14, 13, so the extra 4th note on the 4th string. To finish that off, I'm going to go down to the next octave now. I'm going to play 15, 14, 12 on the 5th string. And then 15, 14, 12, 11 on the 6th. And then resolve to 12 to finish it off. Alright, let's take the whole section from the start at a gentlemanly speed and then we'll do it again with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. Okay, so let's have a look at the second section. It's going to start off with some trills. So we're doing just roughly an angry hammer-on pull-off formation. If you want to be very specific, about 3 should do it. So I'm just going as fast as possible, as cleanly as possible, and moving at the right time. I'm going 11 to 12 on the 6th string, and then I'm playing 14 to 15 on the 5th, and then I'm playing 13 to 14 on the 4th. We're kind of working through a C major arpeggio, or B major should I say. So I've done that one. To finish that off, I want to be playing a 11 to 12 on the third string, and I'm finishing that last chunk by playing 12 to 13 on the second, still keeping that trill idea. You really hear that B major stuff going on. After we finish that little arpeggio, I work into some diminished ideas. So what I'm doing here, I'm starting off with a pull off from 21 to 17 on the first string, then I play 19 of the second, and then I want to reverse my steps, but I'm actually going to pluck the 17 to 20 to finish. So it's 20, 17, 19 of the second, and then I want to bring that back to minor third shape. So usually when I'm doing my diminished arpeggios, I'm just moving back by 3 frets. This one jumps all the way back to 14. So I'm playing 14, 11, and then jumping to 13 of the second string, and then just repeating that exact shape. So it's going 14, 11, 13 of the second, and then we're plucking 11 to 14 again. So back to back. Okay, the last chunk is kind of similar as well. We're going back just the minor third now. So now I'm going to be pulling off from 11 to 8, still using that diminished arpeggio scale. So I'm pulling off from 11 to 8, jumping to 10 of the second, and then I jump back to 8 of the first string. At the end of that, I'm just going to do 3 notes, kind of harmonic minor vibe here. I'm playing 11, 9, 8 on the third. So all together. Let's try that whole section again from the trilling B arpeggio, and then we'll put the diminished stuff at the end of it, and then we'll do it even slower with some tabs. One more time, some tabs. Okay, so let's look at the third section now. We're going to start off with a bit of an arpeggio lick. I'm starting from 7 of the 5th string. I'm going to work through just an E minor. With a bit of harmonic vibes there. So I'm playing 7 to 10 on the 5th. I'm being quite muted with this. I actually do most of this down picked. So we're going 7, 10, and then 9 of the 4th string. And then I'm going to play 10 of the 5th, and then 9 of the 4th, and 9 of the 3rd. So all together. At the end of that, I'm going to hit that evil harmonic minor 7 sound, and I'm going to be playing 8 to 9 there. At the end of that, I want to play 7, 8 twice on the second string. And to finish that off, I'm going to play 10, 8, 7, 8. So that last little chunk, even slower. As I said, we can do this all down picked. When we're drenched in distortion and a bit of palm muting, it does sound pretty wicked, so let's do it nice and slow. Now we get into the tapping section. I prefer to use my finger, but you can use the side of your pick if you're going for that sort of hasty tap sound. So what I'm doing, I've got my left hand ready to play 14, 12. I'm doing a double tap on 15 of the first string, and then I'm going to pull off from 14 to 12. So the 14's waiting there from the double 15. We're going to kind of have 5 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in each group. I'm going to do a similar idea now. I'm going to tap 14 twice and pull off to 12, 11. That's another group of 5 notes. So every time I'm doing that double tap, I've still got that note behind on my fretting hand. So I'm going. I'm going to jump to the second string. I'm going to hit 13 with my double tap and pull off from 12 to 10. Now the next string that I jump to when I'm on the third is just an octave below what we had over here. Let's go through that slowly. I'm doing a double tap on 12, pulling off 11 to 9. And then I'm going to play 11 twice with the tap and then pull off 9 to 8. So we should have 5 groups of 5 notes with that tapping sequence. Very close to finishing it. I've got a double tap on 10 now. I'm pulling off 9, 7. And then I'm just tapping 10 and pulling off to 7 on the 5th. So all together. Alright, let's go from the arpeggio look at the start of this, put the taps with it, and then we'll try the whole thing even slower with some tabs. All the time with some tabs. Okay, let's take a look at the fourth section. Still doing chorus stuff here. We're going to be working through triplets now. So I want to start on the first string. I'm going to go 3, 2, open for my first triplet, and then I'm going to do 3 open notes. I'm going to do a very similar idea. I'm going to go 5, 3, 5, and then 3 open notes. Still staying on the first, 7, 5, 7 with 3 open notes. And to finish that last chunk off, I'm going 8, 7, 8 with 3 open notes. So we're staying with our swashbuckling good time triplets here. Hopefully that's making sense. Now the next part that I work through is a pretty simple lick. We're just playing 2 notes for every little note. So this is the melody. We're just going to double pick each note, which is pretty cool. So I want to start off by playing 12, 11, 8, 11. I'm going to do that again. 12, 11, 8, 11, but we're going to double pick each note. And then the next part goes 8, 7, 8, 7. If I do that with doubles on both of those. So all together. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, then at the end of that, I want to play 10, 7, 10, 8. So I'm going to play 10 of the second, 7 of the first, and then 10, 8 on the second. Okay, so all together. To finish that off, I'm going to play 7 of the second string twice, 9 of the third string twice, and then resolve with the vibratoed 8 on the third string. So all together. Oh damn it, let's try that again. Second time, yes. Alright, let's try and take it from that triplet run in, and then we'll do that double picked run and work through it even slower with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. Okay, so this won't take us too long. I just want to work through that fast run at the end of section 5, which is just before Corey trades with Matt. So I want to start off by playing 12 with my pinky on the first string. We're going to be working through little groups of 4 here. So I'm going to play 12, 8, 10, 12. I'm going to bring that whole idea up 2 frets. So I'm going to play 14, 10, 12, 14. I'm going to jump to 15th fret. I'm going to play 15, 12, 14, 15. Then I'm going to jump to 17th fret and play 17, 14, 15, 17. So all together. Hopefully that's all making sense. And then I just descend down an E minor run. Alright, let's go through that at a gentlemanly pace. Let's start from 20 of the first. I'm going to play 20, 19, 17. And also the same frets on the second string. Okay, then I jump to the third string, I play 19, 17, 16. Same on the fourth string as well. It's a pretty simple shape because we've got the same thing twice on the first little bit and the same thing twice on the next chunk. And I'm just going to resolve that to 19 of the fifth on that E note. Unless you want to skip that and go straight to Matt's as well, you can just leave that out. So let's take it from the start of the section relatively slowly, and then we'll do it again even slower with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. Alright guys, let's take a look at section 6. This is working through Matt's little Lydian-y style run. I want to start with a pull-off from 12 to 8 on the first string, and this is kind of working with almost a pentatonic triplet idea, but we're doing it around sort of a Lydian idea, Lydian shape rather. So let's start off with a pull-off from 12 to 8 on the first string, then I want to jump to 12 of the second string, and then back to 8 of the first. Okay, at the end of that I want to do 2 pull-offs from 12 to 8. So I'm going to do 2 picks here on the second string. So all together. Okay, Okay, then I want to jump to 11 of the third and then back to 8 of the second string. So we're going to go. Okay, then what I want to do here now is play 2 pull-offs again, but this time it's going to go from 11 to 9 on the third. And obviously we're picking that twice. Okay, then we jump to 10 of the fourth and then 9 of the third. And then what I do here is I do 2 pull-offs from 10 to 9 on the fourth string. You see this reoccurring double pull-off theme and then a bit of a backtrack. So from the start. And then to finish that off, I'm going to be playing 10 of the fifth and then 9 of the fourth, and then ending that little run there with a pull-off from 10 to 9 on the fifth string. So altogether, that sort of Lydian style pentatonic. Okay, to finish that off, you can have a bit of a slide if you want on this entry, but I'm jumping to 12 of the 6th string, and then playing 11, so it's going kind of spooky sounding. Then I'm going to jump up to 15 of that string, then play 14. I think adding some vibrato on the pointer finger notes makes the whole thing a little bit scarier. After that, I jump down to 15 of the 5th string and then play 14. Once again, I like vibrato in the note behind it. And then to finish the whole section off, I'm going to play 14, 13 on the 4th string. And I think that's going through sort of a bit more of a harmonic minor sound again. Alright, let's try the whole section from the start relatively slowly. One more time, some tabs. Alright guys, let's take a look at section 7. This is a relatively simple idea, but it's played quite quickly, so kind of a catch-22 really. Easy idea, but played very fast. So I want to start off with just basically in an E minor Aeolian style shape. I'm going to play 12, 14, 15 twice on the 6th string, and then jump down to the 5th string and do the exact same thing, 12, 14, 15. We're just working through pretty fast semi-quavers. Will sound more delicious with a bit more distortion as well. Then I jump to the 4th string and I play 12, 14, 16. And I'm doing that twice as well. So that's just going to be the pattern. So we're working through fast semi-quavers and we're doing 2 groups of 3 on each string. I'm going to do a similar idea now. I'm going to jump back to the 5th string. I'm going to play 12, 14, 15 there twice. And then I'm going to play 12, 14, 16 on the 4th string again twice. And then do that idea but down a string on the 3rd. So now I'm going to play 12, 14, 16 twice on the 3rd. We should have sort of 2 groups of 6, groups of 3, if that kind of makes sense. One more time. Hopefully that makes sense. And we're just going to repeat what we did on the 4th and the 3rd string. I'm going to play 12, 14, 16 twice again, and the 3rd string. And then instead of doing another group of 6 notes, I'm just going to go. What I'm doing there is sort of a bit of a slide entry. I'm playing 17, 16 on the 3rd string, and then going up the octave and playing 20, 19 on the 1st. That's the whole section. So let's work through that run and that little ending and then do the whole thing even slower with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. Okay, let's have a look at the last section. I'm going to start off with a couple of dual bends. It's where we're holding a note and bending another note. I will let you guys know as well, this part has kind of changed time signature, so it's gone from 4/4 to sort of a 6/8 vibe. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's go through those bends. I want to play 12 of the first and bend 15 of the second. And do exactly the same idea from 14 and 17, then 15 and 18, then back to 14 and 17. Keeping in mind that we're counting in sixes now, and then I'm going. That's just doing a straight descend. So I'm playing 12 and 15 again, 10 and 13, 8 and 11, and 7 and 10. So all together. And we'll work through some arpeggios to finish this off. Hopefully that's all making sense. I'm going to start off by working through just a 3-string in minor shape with an arpeggio. This is pretty simple. So what I'm doing here is a pull off from 19 to 15 on the first string, and then playing 17 of the second, and then jumping to 16 of the third. Then I make my way back. But instead of just finishing on that hammer on, I want to do a pull off at the end. Hopefully that makes sense. So we're just going to add one extra note from the descend to the ascend. Okay, I'm going to do a very similar idea here now with a major shape. This is going to be a D. I'm going to pull off from 17 to 14, then play 15 of the second, and then play 14 of the third. I'm going to ascend again and have the same pull-off emphasis that we had before. Okay, and then we're going to go to a C major, and that's going to be exactly the same. I'm going to pull off 15 to 12 on the first, 13 of the second, 12 of the third. We're going to descend, ascend, and add the extra pull-off. I'm going to do exactly the same thing now from B. So that's going to go 14 to 11, then I play 12 of the second, 11 of the third, and then work my way up and then add that extra pull off. So all together. Hopefully that's all making sense. After that, we want to repeat the first 3 arpeggios, which is the E minor, the D, the C, and instead of going to the B, I go. That's the end of the solo there. So what I'm doing is I'm bending 14 of the first string up. Then I'm going to hit it again and bend it down into the pull off. At the end of that, big delicious vibrato bend on 15 of the second string. And that's the whole section. So let's try and take it from the dual bends. We'll do the arpeggios and then the different ending. One more time, even slower syntax. And that was the solo from Into the Mouth of Hell We March by Trivium. Hope you guys have enjoyed that. I'll catch you real soon.